Hey guys, so this is take two of me trying to make this video so far because apparently I didn't save it after I finished my live stream. But with that being said, I wanted to make a video on signs that he slash she or whoever, it's not really gender specific, but signs that this whoever you're dating could be cheating on you. And a lot of this what I'm going to tell you that I wrote on my list today is related to experience that I had when I was in a serious relationship with my ex. I lived with him for and knew him for 4 years on and off. So like hopefully this can save you from a lot of heartache and despair, help you kind of figure out where you want to move forward in your relationship if you feel like you're being cheated on, because contrary to popular belief, your gut feeling, your intuition, your instincts have a large part to play in this, but sometimes your spouse can make you seem like you're the crazy one. So here are some red flags that I wish I would have paid attention to when I finally had real evidence that my ex was cheating on me. Now, pay attention to how people treat you, because this is very important. Believe them if they treat you like nothing or they treat you like shit, or even if it's not all the time, just be weary when they're treating you like a little off. Like if your standards feel challenged all the time, you might want to check this guy and see if he's even worthy, or this girl, if they're worthy of dating. Number one is they have wandering eyes. So this is both ways. I see it a lot of times with some of the guys that I date. Wandering eyes, it depends on different relationships. People let different things pass. Like you'll have couples that say, oh, well, there's attractive. Okay, there's attractive people. It happens sometimes. Sorry, I thought someone was walking in my house for a minute. But you'll have people who are like, well, people are attractive, so let them look at who they want to look at. But sometimes this can be an indication that, like, depending on how they react when you tell them, like, hey, babe, this makes me uncomfortable, and they don't change it. Like, if they do nothing to actively work on it or change it, then that means they just don't give a fuck about you, and they just rather do what they want. And really pay attention to that. Another sign is that they never call you back or pick up your phone calls for prolonged periods of time. Now, I'm not a dating guru, and I'm not saying all this pertains to every relationship. It depends on that type of arrangement or the people. So, like, what I mean by that is, like, some people might actually work all day. That's understandable. But there's people who... like, if you get this feeling like they're giving you mixed signals, and they, like, when you call them, they're always like, oh, hold on, I'll call you back. And then, like, they don't call back for hours, or maybe they don't call back at all. And maybe they phone tag a lot. And, like, just be weary. And then sometimes, and then if you know for some days they don't really have much going on and they still play you that way, like, be weary of that. Another sign is they're always lying about where they've been. And sometimes you can tell this because of how inconsistent their stories are. So if a man or a girl tells you, you ask them similar questions or you talk about the same topics and their response is different each time, you might want to be wary, because a lot of times when people lie, they can't really remember the lie they even came up with. So if it's different, or if they sit here and like pause and or like try to delay your messages, like with what do you mean by that? Like a lot of times people are trying to buy time to lie to you in that sense. But again, keep this information with a grain of salt. But if it resonates, it resonates. Like, listen to your gut feeling. Like, that's something that I really wish that I did in that relationship. If they only hit you with text, so if they don't want to do anything but text, you want to be wary of that, because that means, like, texting is so easy to get away with. Like phone calls are something else, because you have to hear the backgrounds with people, where people are. If they're with someone, if someone's talking back, if they're watching Netflix. It's like so many things you can tell by phone calls. So if someone is like, chances are they're up to no good, or they're somewhere they shouldn't be if they can't call you at that time. They're probably with someone that they can't really speak to you at that time. When they text you and they make excuses like not to talk, like, this is something I did when I had a feeling my ex was cheating, that resorted to me cheating. And just a fair warning, you guys, if a relationship ever gets to that point, you guys just don't belong together. If it gets to a point where you're both not being honest, you're like cheating on each other, and like it's evident that it's not gonna work, like just get out. But excuse that I used one time was, oh, I'm in the bathroom. And these are like when you start shooting people this stuff in text, if they try to call you and they're always hitting you with like, oh, I'm doing this, oh, I'm doing that. Like, be weary of like as many excuses they're trying to give you, because like, you know, sometimes that could be a red flag. If they don't care to update their status online on Facebook, or like put a picture of you guys up on a social media, and they're still like liking other girls' photos and shit, like that's something to be wary about. Like, well, starting with the status update, obviously relationships aren't depending on if your social status on social media. That's not what I'm saying. But if you tell a girl or a guy like, hey, it really bothers me that you're still single on Facebook, like they should change it right away and like not make a big deal about it. Because if they make a big deal about it, that's something to be wary about. And if they still don't change it, you ask them multiple times and they're like postponing it, then there's something to be wary about. Again, if they're still liking people's photos and you tell them how that made you feel, then it's like, if they're treating you like shit, like believe them. Just believe me. If they talk to other girl best friends, or they're not willing to prioritize you. So a lot of people back in the day, they were saying, oh, it's still okay to have guy best friends or girl best friends if you're taken. But I think that's a trap. That's like so naive, because it's like I feel like it shouldn't have an opening for you to have an emotional bond with someone else, regardless than your spouse. And that's like just trouble waiting to stir. And it's like, that's just dumb to me. But unless you guys really say like, hey, I want a polygamous or open relationship, be wary of these things. Like, if you come to agreement as adults and like, look, okay, we can have friends and we can do what we want, we can have a mature arrangement, then that's something different. But if you, again, all of these are if you chose to be in a monogamous relationship and a committed relationship. If they come home super late, now this is definitely a red flag, and this should be scoped out on the first time it happens. Because if they come home like 3 a.m. or any time in the night, that means they're up to no good. Like they should be their ass at home in bed, especially on the weekends. So it's like you should be super wary of that and like put it in check, or like if it keeps happening, just leave the situation. And especially if they come home intoxicated, they look intoxicated, they're smiling, not really giving a fuck, believe them. So that leads to number 8, careless attitude. So if they start acting like they don't give a fuck, chances are they really don't give a fuck. So believe them. Again, comes around less frequently, and that's self-explanatory. If you don't see them much as you used to, if you live with them, maybe they try to find an excuse to always go out or go to someone else's houses or go to other places without you. Maybe sometimes if you don't live with them, they just literally don't come around anymore. Especially women, if you're in a situation where you get pregnant by a guy and he stops coming around, obviously, like he could be cheating or like not really care, because that is the pivotal time where you're supposed to be with the woman. But yeah, hopefully this video gets to you this time. And I'm out of breath, but be dope, be unapologetically. Peace.